recess is over. Coaches and alternates, please to the ice. Please deliver your clockwise last stone draw. You have 1 minute. Please deliver your counterclockwise last stone draw. You have 1 minute.
It's like I switched to a different race or something.
Are you just like nutrient deficient or something?
I don't know.
You're like sick. There you go. I got the hat at the first. You got the right rider. I mean, you literally walk around this game and everyone. It stands for Bismarck. Well, if they hear his accent. No light.
Hammers are sheet A red, sheet B yellow, sheet C yellow, red. Draw 7. Here we are. So a question for you, how do you get amazing ice? going to correct the hammer in a second. C is yellow, E is red.
Downtown Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Eau Claire, the site of 2024 USA Curling U21 Men's and Women's National Championships. We have 8 men's teams and 8 women's teams vying for the right to represent the United States in the Junior Men's Worlds and Junior Women's B Worlds next season. And we see our standings for our final men's round robin draw. Senzali pacing the field at 6-0. Hebert at 5-1, Guentzel 4-2, and Brendan 3-3. Church and Fitzgerald at 2-4, Lanoy and Rose at 1-5. Here are tonight's matchups on sheet A. Lanoy taking on Hebert. On sheet B, Senzali will take on Fitzgerald. Sheet C, Brendan against Church, and our feature game on sheet D, Guentzel will take on Rose. Here are our matchups here. Guentzel at 4-2, taking on Rose at 1-5. Guentzel jockeying for playoff position in that top 4 for the page. Lineup for Team Guentzel: Mason Guentzel at skip, Will Podrosky at third, Leighton Hines second, Stuart Strack at lead, and they are coached by Steven Dropkin. And on the other side of the coin, Team Rose, Caiden Rose at skip, Avery Wilson at third, Brock Sando at second, Tate Reeder Holman at lead, and they are coached by Sean Franey. Tyler George coming to you live once again, joined by U.S. men's silver medalist, WUGS silver medalist Ben Richardson. Ben, thanks for coming back in. We had so much fun with you last time. Had to have you again.
It's good to be back, hoping for a similar game to last time I was here. That was a fun one to commentate.
Yeah, it was a fantastic game. Have not seen Team Guentzel on the feature as of yet, but 4-2. Team Rose we saw just earlier today. So for Guentzel, obviously at 4-2, they will be playing in the Final Four. We'll have to look at the tiebreaker scenarios for them for seeding if they have any chance of getting into that 1-2 game. But at 4-2, obviously have had a strong week. Chatted with Steven Dropkin before the game, Ben, and he likes the way his team is playing. Has high hopes for the weekend, but they really want to carry momentum in with a win here.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to the team as well before this game, and I forget who said it, but one of them put it really well. They're seeing this game as the first playoff game. I believe their third seed is pretty much secured at this point, but they're more so focused on just getting into that playoff mindset, just making sure they're trying to peak at the right times here.
The one game back of Team Hebert and had lost to Hebert earlier in the competition, so I believe they're locked into the 3-4 game at this point.
I believe pretty much every spot is locked except for maybe the 4th spot. Maybe the 1-2 is up in the air, but
yeah, it does appear that they are locked into the 3 as the 4th place team, Team Brendan, they beat in the round robin. They're ahead of them by a game. So with the 3 seed locked in for Team Guentzel, as you said, Ben, it's all about putting together a good game, feeling like you have that momentum going into the playoff round. They already know who they're going to be playing. So tonight, just stay loose, enjoy the moment, but at the same time, do not lose that intensity carrying it on for the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's kind of nice in their situation because it takes a little bit of the pressure off. You know, it's not a game that they necessarily have to win, so they can take a chance to really just focus on their team systems, let the pressure off just a little bit, focus on what they need to do. Obviously, this is something else I talked with them about before the game. They want to win this just as much as any other game. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're okay with losing this. They're just more so focused on playing to the best of their ability and using that momentum into the playoffs.
This is team Guentzel leads. Stuart Strack.
Hard to get it clean.
Making the out-turn hit, trying to pick that stone off.
Beauty.
Didn't quite manage to keep their own two, but that's a good result. And playing this first end open. Ben, I can tell you from watching Team Rose too, they love to play freezes. Rocks in the house, doesn't matter where they're at, no guards in play. You still see a lot of freezes from this team. So no surprise that we see right from the get-go a pretty well thrown freeze out of that stone.
Yeah, if you know it's one of your strengths, might as well use it.
Going to the corner guard now with nothing else in play, so almost a delayed corner of sorts.
Yeah, pretty similar to that.
The freeze, not quite the way you normally see it done, but gets to the same result.
Yeah, a bit of an unconventional delayed corner, but same end result.
Yeah.
Same way as your LSD.
You a fan of the delayed corner?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't use it that much when we played. I think we probably should have used it more. But we tended to just go straight corner to start the end out if we were going to do it. So many times when we're playing in high-level games, if there was a guard up, we would go around right away and try to beat our opponent in.
Right.
But, yeah, a lot of it would depend on where that stone was for the first shot, too. If it's top four, then the delayed corner is probably something we'd utilize a bit more. And anywhere else, if it's behind the tee line, period, then we felt pretty comfortable just going to the straight corner anyways.
Yeah, I like that way of doing it. If they make that top four rock really well, it's a great way to deal with it because it's in such a good spot, but also play aggressively enough where you're not just committing to the blank. You can still get your two.
For those watching, the delayed corner that we're referring to is not throwing the corner guard on your first shot, but taking, if your opponent goes into the house, playing the hit, trying to roll away from the center, and then regardless of where your opponent ends up, if they try to trade hits with you, throwing the corner on your second shot, especially with the 5 rock free guard zone rule, your opponent still can't peel that stone out. So maybe you take the game away from the center of the sheet. You don't have to deal with a rock in the 4-foot if you're going to throw to a corner guard.
Hard to roll. Hard to roll.
Team Guentzel second now. Leighton Hines makes the peel with no real opportunity to set up a force or steal. Guentzel's going to be content just to try to peel this end out and allow Rose to take the blank.
I had the pleasure of coaching both Leighton and Will at the Youth Olympic Trials this year, and I don't think I ever saw Leighton miss a peel the entire week. I think we ended up calling him the Peel King. Now, I don't want to give him a commentator's curse by any means, so I'll try to knock on wood here, but definitely one of his strengths, just a very clean, smooth delivery. Makes it look effortless.
That's a pretty good moniker to have, with a peel shot being a very common shot in the game, to be known as the Peel King.
Yeah.
You got to be pretty good at that shot.
Yeah, that nickname isn't given easily. It has to be earned.
So another peel here, maybe. No, going around this time? Or?
I think they're
Well,
just
that rock
hitting the
right
rock.
in the house, yeah.
Yep.
Third game of the day, they're starting to blend together a bit, Benny.
That's what I'm here for.
We do have a little Diet Dr. Pepper here, just in case the night gets a little long, too. But we are in the home stretch of this second to last day of round-robin play, but the last game for the men. As you mentioned, Ben, the playoff matchups are set. already on the men's side.
I do think I was talking to the Guentzel team. I think the 4th spot is still up for grabs, and I think it's the sheet next to them. It's whoever wins that game, but I could be wrong.
We can clarify that momentarily. Usually we have our stats guys in our ear for this.
Yep.
That bring that in, but we don't.
My math
have
isn't
the
always
remote
great.
Ones now.
I did go to music school, so math is not really my thing.
We can figure that out quickly. So. Intern hitting the stick now.
Yep.
Will Podrosky.
Hard for a roll. Hard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Close. Yep, yep. Hard roll. Hard roll. Hard. Good.
Same thing.
Church wins. They'll have the same record. Church goes on the same thing. On that other sheet.
Whoa, send it out, send it out, send it out.
Out turn hit now. Avery Wilson, 3rd for Team Rose. Both teams saving some time on the clock now too, playing with a little pace.
We played this path yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's always nice to have the chance just to hit rocks in the first end, get your legs underneath you.
Control. I like control.
Control?
Okay, that's fine.
Mason Guentzel, his first stone
I like control.
of this feature game.
We'll just throw
Ben, you got to be a little careful in the outside of the ice with hits, especially early in the game. We heard control the call.
It just runs.
It does run straight, as Guentzel just said. But you don't want to catch a fresh path or a little frost on the outside of the sheet and have the rock cut on you.
Yeah, I like the weight control here. To me, it feels like somewhere in between enough weight where you're not too worried about the curl necessarily, but also light enough that you can still manage the rock well with the sweeping.
Shot. That's not bad.
Yeah, no problem there. Ends up sticking in the top of the 12-foot. Caiden Rose will follow suit with an out-turn hit of his own. Caiden now coming out of the hack for that out-turn hit. Still a little bit of paint that they can stick on. They'd really like to nose here, so Guentzel can't nose back and be on the house.
Such a technically sound delivery from Rose there. It's, to me, I keep saying this, I feel like, but it's just scary how good all these curlers are at this young of an age.
Yeah, not a lot of moving parts in that delivery. Just very easy, calm delivery.
Yeah, just making it look effortless.
Free look here for Mason Guentzel. He's going to play the intern, try to put this on the lid, make the rollout as long as possible for Caiden Rose. So lefty throwing the out turn.
Line's good.
Easy.
Okay, straight side for now.
Yeah, this could be a good chance. You know, if you know the other skip has a turn that they don't like to throw, you could throw it to that side. But something tells me Caiden probably doesn't have a problem with either turn. So in that case, like you said, just make the rollout as long as possible.
That settles into the back of the fours, so Caiden's going to stick with the out turn.
Nice shot.
So final stone of this first end. Caiden Rose playing the out turn peel attempt. Trying to roll out for the blank.
Hard to roll out.
Looks like that'll be on the beak. So they do take a single. Get on the board to start this game. 1-0. Rose leads Guentzel after 1.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
I like it. You got it.
Start of the second end. After that single by Rose on the nose blank attempt.
It's in. I think it's in. Top 12. Top 8. Top 12.
Trying to throw a center guard to start out
I
is
think it might be touching.
Tate Reeder-Holman, but
Three.
hoping it hits the brakes.
Curl it.
Looks like it will.
That's just fine. So we believe we've figured out the tiebreaker situation for the 3-4. Brendan is in with a win. That much we know. If Brendan loses, two-team Church. If Fitzgerald loses as well, Church is in on head-to-head over Brendan.
All there.
If Fitzgerald wins and Church wins, there's a three-way tie in which all three teams beat each other.
Back 12, back 8.
And then we'll go to draw shot challenge, which we do not have in front of us. We'll try to get updated maybe before the end of the game, but we'll focus on our feature matchup for the time being. If we have more information, we'll let you know. But one simple thing we do know, if Brendan wins, the playoff field is set.
That draw shot sheet is right around the corner from this commentating booth, so
And they will
I
be
might try to
adding-
sprint over there
Yeah.
during the second
During the
end break
break.
and
We'll
see
send the
see what's
athlete
going on.
over to sprint and see it. Here is Tate Reeder-Holman playing the intern, hitting the outside of the sheet. Saw Guentzel try to take this out to the wings. He's up in the back of the 12-foot.
Top 4.
And that is straight WCF rules too, Ben, with no tiebreaker games.
I got a 4-0 on that.
It's not mandated that any
Yeah.
national organization follows those rules, but makes sense to follow suit with what you're going to see at the World Championships.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You want your athletes to be as best prepared as possible to play in those World Championship events, so try to mimic them as close as possible.
Stuart Strack, intern come around draw.
Whoa, always will.
Side we've seen a little straighter all week long.
14-6.
Should still get some finish.
Yep, hard will.
Coming down nice now.
Hard will. Hard move it. Hard, you're moving it. Hard.
Heard them say a 14-6, which sounds like right around at least what I've been seeing with most games.
That's
Usually
about average, yeah, from what we've seen.
somewhere between a 14-5 and a 15.
Yeah, good consistency with the speed all week. Generally within a half second for your hog-to-hog times. Here is Brock Sando, the second for Team Rose.
Top 12.
This one maybe a little soft out of hand.
Top 12.
Sweeper's trying to carry it. Holding the line, too. What a really good sweep there to carry that stone. They get that all the way to the nose. Great sweep. Guentzel will switch sides, play the freeze on the opposite side.
Yeah, with this being the curlier side, I think maybe the thought is try to over curl it past the guard just a little bit. Try to get close to the nose of this rock.
T.
Just T.
Whoa, line's good. Line's
Just
good.
T. T. It's T.
Whoa, rim. No bounce. T. Lots of room. T.
Should finish up nice on this
T.
side.
It's on its own. Top four. On its own. Whoa.
Top four.
Can't bounce. Where's locked? Sit.
Just
Side.
taps that red a little bit. Sits 2.
Probably board. Border control. Border control.
See coaches Stephen Dropkin and Sean Franey chatting behind the sheet, comparing notes. Stephen with one of the best beards in the business. Very well kept. I always got to compliment a good beard, Ben.
It is a very, very good beard. I found out him and I actually have the same barber the other day.
How about that? Small world.
Went for a haircut, and he told me he cut the hair of somebody who has a brother, and that kind of brother that curls.
Yep.
It's like that kind of, and lives in the area. So it's like that narrows it down a little bit.
Does Corey go to that same barber then?
Don't believe so, no.
Probably not
No.
in that area, no.
Nope.
So with that double rolling out now, Guentzel looking to bail again and play the run. See if they can clear both stones.
Whoa. Whoa. Girl.
Leighton Hines, see if he can lose both these yellows.
Girl. Attaboy.
That's perfectly done and rolls to a corner.
Nice shot.
Great shot by Leighton. The Peel King.
He's dialed on those. Perfect rolls.
That was a sigh of relief just came over me. The commentator's curse was avoided.
Well, you know, you had an out, though, too, because that wasn't technically a peel. It was a run. It was just peel weight. So with the loophole, we probably could have let you off the hook.
So next time a single peel is called, I'm going to be a little more nervous.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one we got to look out for.
Yeah.
Avery Wilson looking to go around this corner guard.
Top 12. Y'all bring it straight.
So Rose does not want to peel this end out.
Get it around. Y'all got it.
There's still a chance here maybe to get a force if they can bury a good one around here.
Gets it to the top of the 8-foot, too.
What time?
It's a good shot. It had to be really precise there. Didn't want to be light and leave a come around. Didn't want to be heavy and leave any kind of freeze. Had to be really precise with the weight.
Firm weight run. Will Podrosky.
Whoa. Girl. Hard.
Be a little flare out of hand, trying to get it back.
Okay, hard roll. It's all right.
Will roll off, so Rose accomplishes their purpose. Now, splitting the house.
Yeah, a bit of an aggressive call by Team Rose to come around there, but it ends up paying off. I feel like we saw that in the last game I commentated. There was a couple choices to make a more aggressive call, and often it ends up paying off.
Avery Wilson trying to get these maybe even up. Be ideal. If it's going to be at least T, you want to go way deep with it.
Yeah, main thing with this, just try to make the double as difficult as possible. So dead even would be the ideal result. There would be no double. And if it's deep, then bring it all the way back to make it as thin as possible.
Yeah, smart play to keep sweeping that once they saw it was deep. Still a double available, but not quite as natural as it would have been.
So I'd say this looks like you got to hit about a quarter if I had to guess.
Yep. Hard.
Podrosky looking for the double.
Hard.
It's going to be just off nose and rolls away. So still a good chance now for Rose to get the force.
Roll right. Yeah. Do we want to roll in? Okay. Control.
Must be playing this pretty soft, Ben, with that much broom on the outside of the sheet.
Yeah, I think that's Caiden's comfort zone. He likes those softer weight shots, those board weights, control weights. Remember watching him last year at Junior Nationals. He made so many of those shots, and seems like he's only gotten better since.
Rock, yeah, yeah. All the way.
Rock's going backwards a little bit. See if
Just stick around, just stick around. You got it.
Sando can hold this one.
No roll, no roll.
Does very well. It's a good shot from Rose again. Guentzel's eyeing up the double. See if they can bring that blank back into play.
Yeah, this will be an interesting game because where Caiden loves those softer shots, I think Mason's go-to shot are those peel shots, those cross-house doubles. He loves those high hard ones. So it should be an interesting combo of skips for this game.
Do you ever like even last year? Well, he was narrow. Oh, I'll trust this. I like the touch. Oh, yeah.
Mason adjusting the broom just a little bit. The lefty playing the out turn into the stone.
Yep, clean. Yep.
Started just a little bit there.
Hard for roll. Hard. You got it.
Still
Hard.
close.
Roll it. Whoa. Yep.
At least rolling it over into that area.
Nice shot.
So close to getting the roll all the way over on top of it, too.
Notes.
Just saw maybe a little turn on that release to get that started.
Yeah, that's what I saw too, and it really wasn't that much of a turn. Just that's with this type of ice, any small motion inwards can be hard to can be hard for that rock to not move towards that direction.
You'd love to hit this right on the nose if you're Caiden Rose. That'll take the blank out of play, unless you want to play a really tough one. Slashing and rolling all the way across the house, which I doubt will happen, so nose would be great for Rose. In-turn hit attempt. A little more weight on this one.
Straight. Whoa. Curl. Hard curl.
I really want to stick around.
All right, catch it.
And that will roll off. So the blank back in play for Guentzel. Will be the out-turn peel for the lefty.
Had a bit of a practice shot with his first one, throwing a out-turn peel. Maybe we'll want to have just a slightly cleaner release this time.
Final stone, second end, Mason Guentzel. Just throwing peel, trying to roll off for the blank.
Hard.
This one looked like it was pinched a little bit too.
Hard. Rolled out. Get out. That's fine.
And that stays on the pane as well. So two blank attempts equal two singles for the first two ends. Rose and Guentzel tied 1-1. And Steve's Curling Supplies, America's #1 curling equipment supplier for over 50 years, is proud to support USA Curling. No matter your skill level or budget, they have all the top products from the most popular brands in the sport. Right now, you can save $10 on any purchase of $100 or more when you use the code USACurling10 at checkout. Visit us at stevescurling.com for all your curling needs. 1-1 after 2
Yep, hard
in our
curve,
feature
hard.
matchup here on Sheet D.
16-6.
Rose and Guentzel keeping things fairly open. We did have a blank attempt in the first and second ends. But Ben, if you're going to miss it one way or the other, sticking is much better than flashing.
That is a much better result.
Weight's good. Top 12. Top 8.
It's always very sad when you don't make contact with those blank attempts. Just
The
kind
old
of a
silent blank,
yep.
which is
Looking
not a
for the sound that never comes.
Yeah. Silent takeouts are not fun. They're very sad, as you said. So intern, come around draw.
Really good shot,
Tate Reeder Holman gets that to the 8-foot.
Top
got it.
4.
Mason Guentzel wasting
He's
no
3 or 4
time
twos,
calling.
like 4:15.
Come around draw on the opposite side. Lead Stuart Strack.
All there. Room right now.
Top 8.
Whoa, line's good. Straight. Hard line.
This one
gotta
curling
go.
early.
Yeah, it looked like he may have gotten that going just a little bit on the
third line.
release.
Whoa. Whoa.
You like to
Whoa.
line it up now on the nose.
Okay.
So not a bad angle
no
at least for
idea.
those two guards.
Yeah, it certainly can be used later in the end if Team Guentzel gets in trouble and needs to bail. Can run those Reds back onto anything behind them.
Similar weight. Similar weight.
Out turn, come around draw.
Top 12. Scratch him off.
Looks like this one's curling as well.
Okay, we could cover this though.
I haven't seen a ton of curl on that side, so
Curl it for a corner.
maybe just operator error, maybe getting a little sticky over there. And Ben, if we're going to see any type of issue with the ice, you'd expect it to be the 4th game of a 4-game day.
Good time.
Trying to maintain ice for 4 10-end games over essentially a 12-hour period.
Room, like back 4.
That's work for
Back
only
8,
the best
lots of
ice
room.
crew on the planet, Sean Olison's
Back
boys.
Back 8.
Maybe some ladies on the crew too. I know we did out in
Well, don't touch
13-9.
it.
Whoa, let me 13-5.
Traverse City, I believe.
It's fine.
Yeah, that's an art that I know nothing about, but
I'm with you. I got nothing.
I have the privilege of just going out there and throwing rocks, but I know those people on the ice crew work tirelessly day and night. And yeah, those evening draws are usually the toughest to manage. That's usually when you see strange tendencies with the ice.
Weight's good. A little up.
So out turn once again.
Back 4. Oh, it's gonna die. It's gonna die.
This one running a little more pure.
Top 8. T. Back 8. Back 4. Back 8.
Rose trying to get this to stop. At least back button, back 4 foot. Not a bad spot.
Lock it.
You got it. Couple feet
I learned an interesting fact about Team Rose before this game. Before every game that they play, they all play chess against each other on their phones as a bit of a mental warm-up.
Yeah, we saw that in the team info about them, that they're all chess players. And
Steve, gotta be here.
Back
Whoa,
4, back 8.
whoa.
never something that's going to
back
hurt
8.
when it comes to curling.
Curl.
We do call it
It's
chess
coming
on
down.
ice.
Straight.
Keeping the brain loose,
Hard.
getting ready for your
Right here,
game.
guys, come on. Dig. Dig.
Did you ever do any
Keep
mental
going,
warm-ups
go.
with your team before games?
Our warm-ups generally were go off on your own and get yourself ready. We'd have our team meetings and talk about our goals for the game and the tournament and all that. But once that was done with, it was every man for themselves. And for myself, my mental warm-up was just getting my regular playlist of music up, gauging my energy, and trying to figure out, do I need to bring things up a little bit? Do I need to bring it down? Knowing what your specific level of energy is that gets you starting the game at your best.
Back 8. Dying. We want it to
But
die.
no
We want it to
chess,
die.
nothing like that.
We could tick it and roll.
We could just get the back one.
Everybody's different. It's important on a team to know which players need what type of mental warm-up before a game. Nothing wrong with everyone doing something different, like you said.
We got to make it. Just stay close.
Another come-around draw that goes to the back of the house.
So we're like
Just a little quick on that line.
Feels good. Well, we'll take a look.
Will Podrosky, his
Got it,
first here
Carl.
in the third. Wearing this path down on the out-turn side.
Can't be deep. Can't be deep.
Looks like this one's going to slip deep as well. Maybe trying to freeze the back one now.
It does go all the way to the back 12, so Rose sitting 3. Really important to get a stone above the tee line on this line now. That's Guentzel's out for this end.
And Team Guentzel have pretty much already played their cards at this point. They've tried that freeze a couple times. Team Rose knows that they're going to keep trying that shot. So try everything possible to take that away.
We're hearing behind the tee again.
Okay, bring it. I think we bring it back. Back 4. Back 4.
Seems to be a force field around that line right now, Ben.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's going to be something really difficult to manage. You know, that's why it's important to be watching the other shots of the other team and picking up on, okay, we've thrown this path multiple times now. It's only going to get quicker and quicker. And
Never take a touch less.
where if you threw T-line on your last rock and the other team throws on the same path, that same weight might end up being like back 8, back 12.
So another attempt at this out-turn come around. Guentzel can still get out of this end if they can make this draw.
Curl. Easy, can't be deep.
This is still gliding too.
It's got to sit. Just curl it. Okay.
So tempting as it might be to hit that stone to try to sit 5, you really need to get shot rock to top 4s if you can.
Yeah, good call here by Team Rose. It, like you said, it could be tempting to hit that and try to sit, I guess it would be 5, but you know that freeze is still an out for Team Guentzel. So beat them there first, and then maybe you'll have a chance to hit that red later.
We'll see if Avery Wilson can solve the puzzle. Get this stone above the tee line on this line. I don't think I'd even look at this rock until I was positive it was stopping above the tee line. Finishing up now. It does get the top 4. Shows about 3/4 probably from the hack. A good spot. They desperately needed to get one on that line above the tee.
Do you ever play the draw around this side?
Yeah, you got to be very careful here if you're Guentzel. Even if you make this shot,
I like this a lot.
Okay.
you'll be shot rock, but your shooter goes out probably, and you may still be looking at second, third, maybe fourth for Rose.
No.
Yeah, not out of jail here yet for Team Guentzel.
I mean,
yeah, this is a dangerous shot.
They're going to play the hit for 5 or 4.
Could get some yellows moving, though. I can see making this and maybe getting rid of 3. You slash it over the top.
Okay.
And at the very least, probably open up a draw for your last.
Yeah.
You probably don't have much choice but to play it. I mean, the only other option would be to play it soft and try to stick it on that yellow and leave your shooter there, but the angles aren't great to play that either.
Yeah, I would hate to jam it on your own red, too.
So we'll see if Mason Guentzel can lose both these yellows, maybe one more. Yeah, still hanging right now. Goes over the top. I think it's probably the same draw here for Rose.
I threw that good. We wanted to curl. Try and get
Yeah, good news at least for Guentzel is Team Rose still can't hit that red. Because if they do, it would set up a pocket for Mason. So they're only going to try to sit 2 here. No chance for them to sit 5.
Good patience by the young Skip. Trying to throw probably just about the exact same spot, but curl a little more. That depth was really good.
Yeah, just get a little bit more buried, I think would be perfect. Still showing a little piece, maybe tempting Mason to chase it in some way.
Corey Teesey behind Caiden agrees. She's smiling.
A very pleasant look on her face.
Line's good. Where? Back 4. Back 4. Curl. Curl then. Curl.
Heard back 4, really don't want to be deep. Line's curling now. Needs to be by the guard first.
Curl. Bring it here. Bring it.
Oof, gutsy sweep call there. Got to get there too. That's pretty good. Will leave maybe a draw to the button to get out of the end.
I was under the impression that it was.
Boy, Benny, they were still carving that when it was getting awfully tight to both those stones.
Yeah, like you said, gutsy line call. But
He's got to freeze the pocket. Shoot. Gonna clean that.
yeah, big shot needed here from Mason. Did leave that freeze with it over curling, maybe just a little bit, but the shot isn't without risk.
Really no choice but to play it. So Guentzel's last in the third, trying to draw the side of the button. Get his team out of trouble.
Line's good. Whoa, easy. Curl. Not yet. Line's good. Curl.
This one's still hanging right now.
Hard. Gotta move it. Hard for nose. Hard.
See where this ends up. If it's deep,
all the way.
it's all about the angle on that back red.
Whoa. A shot.
Ooh.
I think we're only 1 right now, but.
Boy, do you think you can squeak that through there, Ben?
That's just what I was looking at. I think you can. Might touch the back 4 yellow, but I think it still gets through.
Yeah, maybe normal would be for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6. And it looks like they're just playing the tap, looking for 3. Boy, I'd be awfully tempted to take a run at that thing.
Yeah, me too.
They may think it doesn't go through. They may just think we want to get our 3.
Yeah, they have a better view of the situation than we do, but
That
sounds
could
like
be-
they're satisfied with going for the 3. Certainly a good result.
So final stone, third end. Caiden Rose sitting 2.
Where are we? Curl.
Looking to just tap this stone back and stick around for 3.
Whoa, straight. Oh my God, I don't want to take this. Okay, that's fine.
Ooh, so maybe just 1. Awfully tough to tell.
I'm gonna measure. 1 for sure, but.
All right, Ty, here's your first chance. Who do you think?
Well, I think I'm going to go.
Just measure it. Yeah.
Ooh, and that's close.
I feel like if you look at the outsides of the rocks, I can see a little bit more red on the outside of the yellow. So my bet would be yellow.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with you on that one, Ben. Overhead view maybe a little off, but we'll go with yellow for 2. So it is a single so far for Rose.
Hopefully I didn't lead you astray on this one. What's your record
No,
now?
I was seeing the same as you. Just 2-1. I've only had 3 measurements so far.
Not a lot of measurements this week.
I don't even know. It's close.
I tried bringing it up to Will, but he just
Yeah, that angle doesn't help much. It still looks really close.
Because on the mics, they're acting like all like have to make every shot. And all,
Yeah, this one as close as we've seen.
I said something. I was like, you guys are acting differently.
What would be the scenario if it's a tie
I'm just like letting you know.
with these 2 rocks, with one scoring
I
already?
think you just get 1. I think the tie means you.
I think it would favor the non-scoring team in this case.
I think so, yeah.
Never had that happen before.
Just past the 3. Yellow it is.
Let's go.
Both commentators get it correct.
1-0 for the
You
week
led
for
the
me.
way, Benny. So it is a 2 for Team Rose. They lead 3-1 after 3. A heroic call by Ben. And speaking of heroes, Warm Room Heroes, more than just software. They're curlers dedicated to building long-term relationships with your club. Warm Room Hero provides continuous support to ensure your website exceeds your members' expectations. Check out Warm Room Hero today at curling.club. That's Warm Room Hero at curling.club. So maybe a possible hit for 6 for Rose in that third end, but electing just to play it safe. And they do take the 2-point lead, 3-1 after 3 ends of play. Center guard to start this end off. Team Rose wasting no time. Staying aggressive.
Draw round. Top 8, top 12.
Yeah.
Guentzel going to come right around that stone.
I don't know if you've noticed this tie, but the shoelace game in this matchup is very strong from both
Noticing
teams.
it now that you mention it. Yeah, both sides.
Good. Straight side.
Big Team Rose, for the most part, have been matching their hats, and Team Guentzel have the purple ones to match their brooms.
Yeah, Team Rose, we were told, wanted to wear Denver Curling Club hats to support their club at this championship, but they didn't have 4 of the same color. So they had to go with 4 different colors instead of just going a couple with one color. So they all get to be individuals still.
I like that, having a unique color for each player. I will say a couple times when I've watched streams when they play, the players with like a blue or red hat, if you look at the overhead, I mistake them for another rock. So it's like the exact same size as a rock. And then it starts moving. I'm like, wait a second.
I appreciate the standard house colors and pattern, which helps a lot for the overhead as well. How do you feel about some of the goofy patterns and things you see for houses?
Yeah, I like creative houses, but as long as I, from the other end of the sheet, can see where the 8-foot and the 12-foot separate, then it's fine. Especially in doubles, I've noticed. I'll go to some clubs in Canada, and I have to take my own broom, and I have no idea where the 8-foot is or where the 12-foot is.
Yeah,
What about you?
I'll never blame a club for getting money from a sponsor to do something like that. But as a player, yeah, I prefer traditional. You know, the logo here for the Nationals actually looks really cool. Like that's still simple enough. I like that a lot. The Shields logo in the center, all good. That's perfect. But once the pattern of the rings changes, like you said, and if it changes your sight line as a player, which from the other end is pretty easy to happen, then that, yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. But you told me X company paid X amount of money to have it look this way, then, hey, that's
No questions asked.
that's great. We'll take it. We don't turn down dollars in this sport.
Should try to come up with a compilation of the worst curling houses out there, because I could probably come up with some pretty bad ones. I can think of, there's one in Canada where it's some truck company, and so there's just a giant truck that just goes straight through the house.
Across. And the rest of the house is the same.
Yep. Normal house, just a truck. No coordination, no
That's
nothing.
a new one on me. Have not seen
I
that.
think we did like normal. I like normal. I'm fine with normal.
The Peel King,
Weight's good. Whoa.
Leighton Hines.
Whoa.
Don't know if this
Whoa.
qualifies as Peel weight.
Close.
Don't think so. Looks like more normal weight to me.
Please, yep. Whoa, whoa, curl.
Sterling picks that Yellowstone off. Looks like that's going to roll out, though.
It's fine.
Yeah, not a bad result. They do have a rock that's back 4, which typically is not a great setup for a team with hammer, but as it stands now, pretty tough for Team Rose to draw in there and freeze that in any way, so they're probably just going to elect to hit this.
I like left. I like rolling to the left.
Yeah, this is one you want to throw with firm weight, too, as Rose is correctly signaling for. He's got to hold the line straight. Brock Sando playing the outturn through that hole.
Peel away. Yep. Peel. Yep.
Very well done by Brock, right through the hole.
Sorry. Oh, man.
Good shot.
Yeah, great weight choice on that.
Yeah, wise move by the
Normal.
young skip.
I think we have to throw firm. This through an 8. The last one was like a 9.
Notice, similar to last end, there's a couple guards there lined up, this time for Team Rose. If they need to use that later in the end, they can. See if that comes into play or not.
Hard, keep going.
That one
Never
just
mind.
Pinched a little bit, ends up wrecking the guard.
Jesus. So they can't run it. It's helping us. Yeah, it's helping us. They can't draw to it with it there. You could just corner on this. Okay.
Yeah, this is just kind of overcomplicating the shot call a little bit.
I like board more, but
You're on third stones already. Removing that stone actually helps Team Guentzel unless you get a perfect roll center. So this is just overthinking a touch, trying to do two things at once when that guard really isn't hurting you.
straight. Yeah, straight.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you make this shot perfectly, it's a pretty good result. But like you said, it's really not hurting Team Rose that much.
They do get a decent guard out of it, but now that path is open. So if you just thrown the rock to that center line, they wouldn't have that path in.
Yep.
But Guentzel's still thinking that they want to clear this up, so
This is like nose.
Little conservative play again.
Or here more.
Yeah, I didn't mind his first instinct there to follow that one, but feeling like they got to deal with these center guards now.
Will Podrosky.
Yep. Hard. Hard. Okay.
Loses both yellow stones. Leaves the shooter there.
What did you do?
Rose going up to replace that guard.
Yeah, not a bad result, especially considering the shooter isn't a pure center guard. It's still out of the way.
Two guard. guard, 2 guard, right side of center.
Okay. Dude, I feel like that's a little too much.
I feel like that's a little too much.
Just noticing now that their brooms are matching their hats as well. The color coordination is off the charts.
Well, 2, 3, 3, 3. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, the laces, the brooms, the hats. This team comes ready to go when it comes to coordination. No question about that.
There more. Whoa, Carl.
Peel Wade again here.
Whoa,
Looking to run, but it's just going to end up making the single peel, opens it up. So advantage Team Rose, running Guentzel out of stones here in the third with the 2-point lead. Now replacing the guard again. This is one, Ben, you really want to get tight to the rings. If they want to play the run, that's fine. You just don't want to leave something that Guentzel can come around and try to get a skip's deuce with.
Yeah, and even if the run is made, there still will be at least one guard that Team Rose can come around on Caiden's last to force. So really not concerned with that shot at all.
Just getting a little clarification on the weight again. Rose throwing the out-turn guard, looking to protect that counter. Try to either get a steal or a force in this end.
Where are we? Curl.
Line should be just fine.
Curl. Whoa.
Yeah, needs to hit the brakes now. Yeah, I think you want to have a go at digging that out now, Ben, with how high that is, but they're looking at running this long center guard.
Yeah, the line of that guard is perfect, but it is higher than I think they'd like it, so it could be a good chance if they wanted to freeze or try to chase it in some way. But they have played this peel a couple times now, so I guess they're just trying to stick with what they're comfortable watching go down the sheet.
Yeah, it's a pretty long run for trying to catch it on the nose. Shooter is going to have to stay right there to make it, basically. Only roll a couple inches either way, in which case Rose, like you said, will be able to come right around again. So first rock for Guentzel.
Yeah, overcurling a bit.
Ends up rolling and just still blocking off
It's your last.
that center.
Do you want to go here? Just Christmas tree it?
Yeah, I normally would like Christmas treeing on shots like this, but because there's no path to draw on the left, straight guard really puts Guentzel in a little jam because he can't run either of his stones back.
Yeah, I'm with you. And with the scoreboard, you don't need to really go for any more than a steal of one here. Just do everything you can to give Mason the hardest shot possible on his last, which I agree. It's just the guard.
Same thing they're saying now. I like the guard. There you go. So just even a mid guard that's a foot, a little more off the center line to that side, you can take that draw path away too.
Yeah, maybe a little tighter than his first, just to give a little less room for Mason to come around it.
Final stone for Caiden Rose for his squad here in the fourth.
Over and off. Whoa. Never. Should we bring it in?
Yeah, over curling now. They need this to stop.
Okay, never. Never touch it. Never.
Yeah, that's one again, Ben, where you want to take enough broom no matter what. You can always walk it down more, but if it's over curling, there's nothing you can do with it.
Too inside on that one.
Does leave a piece on that outside.
Yeah, you're always able to curl a guard. You can never hold it straight, usually. I always prefer to finish guards rather than have to hold them straight early and then hope it stops. Probably can see just enough of this rock. I think they're trying to chase it for the blank.
Yeah, I don't mind that as long as the sight line looks good for you. You feel comfortable throwing it.
Certainly coming out of the right hack for this one.
Final stone, fourth end, Mason Guentzel. Looking to dig this stone out for the blank, but just playing it with control, which makes the shot a little more precise. Hey, good throw. Does get the blank, so escapes the end.
9-5.
Ends up
Blank.
another blank. It's 3-1. Rose leading over Guentzel. Look at the action on the other sheets for this final men's round robin draw. Sheet A, Caiden Hebert, 3-1 lead over Matthew Lanoy in the fourth. Nick Senzali on sheet B with a 2-1 lead over Aiden Fitzgerald in the third. That game still possibly with playoff implications. Depending on what happens on sheet C, Zach Brendan and Ryan Church tied 2-2 in the fourth end. Of course, our feature matchup on sheet D, Caiden Rose, 3-1 lead over Mason Guentzel. Fifth end of action.
Yeah, you know, for Team Guentzel, I feel like it would be tempting to maybe be giving a couple side eyes to the sheet next to them to see what's going on. But so far, I haven't really seen anyone looking over there yet. They're doing a really good job of staying focused. I know I've been guilty of that many a time.
Whoa, stop. Take your side of zone. Line's good on its own. Line's good on its own. Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Line's good.
And beautifully thrown there, right to the top of the 8 foot.
Perfect.
Stuart Strack right to the top 8s, and now Caiden Rose putting the broom down for the same in-turn draw to go around the guard that Tate Reeder-Holman threw on his first.
We're taking it.
Strack walking down. They'd like it to stop. Nothing wrong with a little tap on that line. That's a good shot. Nice pair from lead Tate Reeder-Holman.
2 feet less. Actually, this side's kind of fast.
Nothing wrong with poking that a little bit to the open too, Ben, while keeping that angle. So that's probably your best case scenario for Rose.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well. As long as your shooter stays at least partially buried, it's really good and does that.
That's something I always like doing a little more with our team than I think other teams did. When you're playing those come-arounds early in the end to play to a freeze, as long as you have the right angle, you tap it a little bit to the open, then you have 2 different ways you can get at that stone, either with the shooter that you had or just if it's open to play it any other way. And now you're not stacking stones on top of each other. Now you're playing for position instead, and you see exactly what happened there. Now Rose, if they wanted to, could hit that stone, but they also can freeze without having to bunch on their own but still have that angle in. So that little tap actually worked out beautifully.
Yeah, I think
that draw around coming up short.
I think it's one of those shots as a shooter, you just throw it for the freeze. But then as a sweeper, if the line's looking really good, then you can sweep it a little bit extra and get that tap into the open.
Right. This Rose team has really put together some good ends, too, in the games that we've had. So young, a lot of experience to be gained from playing in these events, but you can see it click into place every once in a while when that rhythm starts going, like, oh yeah, if we go here and we do that, and then they're starting to throw it a little cleaner too. When they get away from that just freezing to the rock in the house type of thing and just start positioning stones, there's these flashes of, all right, we see what this could be in the future.
Yeah, especially later in the week now with this last round robin game, it seems like everything's coming together for them. They certainly seem like students of the game, trying to learn as much as they can through such a high-level competition like this.
Top 8, top 4. Hard, Stewart, top 12. Top 12.
That draw did come up short there for
Top 8, top 8.
Roxando, but intern come around here.
It's fine.
Not too bad from Leighton Hines.
I do remember from talking with Team Guentzel before this game that there are definitely some tricky rocks on this sheet.
You got the weight adjustment.
I figured with that second rock for Stewart coming up light, that could be maybe a slower rock.
Sure.
Can always be a difficult thing to manage as a lead. Having a bad rock and paired with could also be a bad rock or a good rock. Did you usually give Landsteiner the bad rocks? How did your team manage that?
Yeah, most of the time, Landsteiner got the different ones. Every once in a while, if there was one that cut a little more than the others, well, that's the ones we'd give to Steiner for sure. The straighter ones we might give to Matt, because not just because of the shots he'd be playing, more hits as opposed to draws, but just the way he throws the stone too, just works it a little bit more in a way that we're always playing for it.
Yep.
But it might have made sense based on how straight the stone was for him to throw it as opposed to Steiner. But I would say 90% of the time, if there was rocks that were different in any way, we gave him the John.
You got it.
He still made him anyways.
Pretty much just comes with the job description as a lead, having to throw rocks like that.
11. Whoa. Girl. Whoa. Girl. Hard.
Bunch of rocks in play again around the center.
Hard, you got it. Hard.
Just chipping that rock over and moving one yellow to the open. Interesting setup now.
Yeah, pretty nice result pushing that yellow out into the open there, because now they can hit and roll off of it.
Strange as it seems, yeah. I mean, I might actually play that too. I like that call.
Hit off of your own?
Yeah. It's the only way in right now. I mean, that's an impressive call by Rose if they actually go with this. Because you'd never think, as a younger player especially, well, we don't want to hit our own. But if you look at the way this is set up, that is the only way for either team really to get in right now. I love the call.
I do too. I would be very impressed if they called this. I think it is a very underutilized call. It's such a weird concept, like hitting your own rock. But at the very least, if you roll out, you're taking away a very valuable opportunity for the other team. So even if you don't make the roll, it's still a good result.
Yeah, and now playing the draw, too. You're leaving that in off for Guentzel, where they'd be sitting too buried.
Looks like Caiden wants to throw it. He keeps eyeing up that rock while he's holding it through him. He wants to play it.
It was right, yeah. So it will be the outturn draw, unfortunately. I would have loved to see them play that. Might have to have a word afterwards, too, just to tell him how great the instinct was.
Yeah. Those are the shots you want to confirm with the skip. Like,
Right.
yes, you were right about that.
And this one then ends up coming up short, and I think we know what shot Guentzel's going to play now. And there is that
Control.
hit and roll attempt.
Gotta make this good.
I think Caiden might be stewing a little bit right now, knowing
Yeah.
like this was the
Looking
shot.
at his body language.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Believe in yourself, kid.
Whoa.
It's your game.
Yep. Whoa. Curl. Curl.
Guentzel trying to play the hit and roll.
Ah, shoot.
This is just going to roll a little to the outside.
It's a little off.
Probably better than nosing that. Makes the hit and roll for
Yeah.
Team Rose a little bit harder.
I like hitting
Short little run and available with that draw that came up short now, too.
70, 60, 70. I like hitting the yellow. All right. All right, we're hitting the yellow. We're going to try to cut it thin. Well, wait.
So you have to think about where you're going to leave your shooter on this shot, too. I think you want to roll it thick if you can. Leave it there so it still blocks off that draw path and gives you a raise. So hit almost as much as you can.
Doesn't make the run, but it
Another interesting setup.
yeah
now.
rolls it to not a bad spot.
I like to draw this way, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now kind of forces Team Guentzel to just draw in there and
kinda
sit
tight.
two.
Okay.
I really don't see any way of getting at those yellows, especially this late in the end.
In-turn tap attempt.
Yeah, whoa. Whoa.
Line's good.
Whoa. Room. Whoa. Line's
Will
good.
Podrosky.
Straight. T. Whoa. Line's good. Where? Where?
Actually just coming straight through the hole instead.
Oh, shoot.
Coasting a little bit. See how far it goes. Still sitting two. Not a bad shot.
What's my
Yeah,
time?
still a good result. Just wanted to make sure you sat two there. Does leave
Okay.
the freeze for Team Rose, but has to be made.
I like. Yeah. No. Draw through the four. I like a 4-5. 4-5. I think even a 4 was good. 4 was good.
See if Caiden Rose can follow that path. Make this freeze through the hole.
Kind of set it out.
And there was a little bit of a set.
For way up lane. Wait's good. Whoa. Wait's good. Whoa. Yeah.
The line getting better now.
Whoa. Whoa.
Looks
Whoa,
really
curl,
good.
Curl.
It's all about the weight.
Bring it right here. Curl, all the way, curl.
Oh, is that any good?
Okay, off.
Look at that shot from Rose. Great shot.
Hit again.
That's
Right
fine.
to
You ever
the
swap
side
it on
of the
so you have
button.
it later?
I'm not going to have it later. Because if I go there, then it just jams.
Okay.
Even if I straight stick it there, that's pretty good too.
I mean, if we play this, he's just going to play it again.
That's fine.
Okay.
Let him play it.
You can follow that rock down,
Just there.
Yeah.
Right there
freeze
for
it, and
one.
maybe
Feel-
just get
Yeah,
shot,
one
but
straight, so just watch
really
it.
difficult. So they're looking at, I think, angling this top 12 red into that yellow.
Yeah, if you pick it clean, great. If you stick it
Yeah.
and lose both, better
Oh.
yet.
No, just pick it off.
Yeah, I don't mind this. There's a couple options, like you said. Even just getting rid of everything, spilling all the rocks, you'll be sitting one. A little less backing for Team Rose to draw to.
Playing a lot of weight at this now, too.
Hard.
Mason Guentzel
Hard. Hard. You gotta go. Hard.
4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4. 4.
Well, you heard that immediate call, too, from Rose saying, well, draw down again. Why not at this point?
Yeah, I played it on your first. Got a really good idea of what weight to throw. And a little more room for error this time. If you're anywhere light, takes away any draw on that side.
You hear them talking about how they cleared the top one by a lot. Well, really doesn't matter how much you cleared the top one by. You made the shot, so just put it wherever you just had it. Just do the exact same thing, and you're perfect.
Yeah, you know, I mentioned the pro side, you know, where it's okay to miss this shot, but this is really one of those shots as a skip you really just want to nail.
Yeah.
You make this good, you put so much pressure on the other team.
I agree on that. So Caiden Rose trying to repeat that draw from his first stone. Throw looked pretty similar. This one curling a little bit more now. Got to go to get by. Yeah, that one's going to wreck the guard. Well, and that'll open that up to maybe pick it out, too.
Yeah, just got tripped up by the line there a little bit. Looked like the weight was really close. I think if they get that by, they probably would have been right to that yellow.
I think it's really hard.
Yeah, still can't really see any of it from the hack. Thought maybe it pushed it over enough to open.
Kind of like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least from that camera angle, it didn't look like you could see any of it.
That's what we got to try.
You got it.
Judging by that broom, it looks like they're just drawing for one.
I think it's pretty hard.
I'm not sure I mean, you could maybe just feather it over the top, but not sure that the risk reward is there just for one extra point. So Guentzel lining up for the draw. Final stone of the first half of this game, trailing 3-1.
Yep, line.
Line's good.
Rose sitting one.
Line.
side
Whoa,
pedal.
whoa, whoa. Line's good.
Straight. Line.
Straight.
Line.
Straight.
Hard. Gotta go.
Hard.
Hard.
Sweeper's going now. Looks like this is going to over curl
Gotta
too.
go.
So that will be a steal of one for Team Rose. They lead now 4-1 at the break. Halfway through, it's time for the Broom Fitters break. Broomfitters.com is the place for good curling gear and fast shipping on everything curling. For a limited time, take 10% off your first order with the code USA. Visit broomfitters.com.
There's not. I feel like I'm being left with nothing.
Excuse me.
Yeah. We're going to stop doing that. We're going to take away the middle for them to hide in, same as we did way back when. Let's put up corner guard. Let's ignore the fact that they come around their center guard. Let's go around our corner guard, get a good one in, and we'll start peeling up the center. When we peel, try to keep our guards around as corner guards. Okay? I don't actually care that much that we keep it, but it would be really nice to keep it. If we see a piece of theirs behind the center guard, I like going at it with more weight rolling behind our corner guard. Alright?
Kind of what I wanted to do from the get-go. So I think it's way to try.
Yep, absolutely. So let's take away the middle. That's no longer an option because they're They're wreaking havoc.
throwing the weight to get it out. You're then moving the rock.
Yeah.
Four, 3, 4, 4.
Out of the break here, our feature matchup, 2024 U21 USA Curling Men's National Championship. Tyler George with Ben Richardson.
Top 8.
Ben, got to remind John Landsteiner, it's always faster after the break. You see that rock in the back of the 8-foot.
Hey, Will. I had a question.
And now this one coasting deep as well, going for the corner guard. So that mop had some heavy effect this time.
Well, so that one may be heavy, but I did see Stewart have to kind of wiggle his rock around as he was coming out. I think it picked in his hand, so he may have had to shove it a little bit more than he was anticipating. Got to give him credit where credit's due, you know.
I'm okay with nose, Caiden.
Control. Firm. Whoa, curl. Firm. Curl. Curl. Whoa, straight. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Hard. It's fine.
Control. Yeah. Splitting the house without hammer.
So 2 stones in the house now. Easy decision for Rose. The hit and sit 2. Try to play this end out and keep Guentzel off the scoreboard again.
Wait's good. No, wait's good. I like weight.
So I managed to make my sprint over to the draw shot sheet to try to get a better idea of the standings and who can make it in. And as it stands after this draw, Brendan is the 4th ranked draw shot team. Fitzgerald is the 5th ranked, and Church is the 7th ranked.
I'd rather play
So my calculations are correct. I think it's just the winner. We were talking about this. I think it's just the winner of the sheet next to them is in. And if there was a 3-way tie between those 3 teams and everybody beat everybody, then Team Brendan would make it in based off of their draw shot result.
That is what we're operating on. You see Church with a 6-2 lead over Brendan on the sheet next to us. So if that result holds, Church will be, or excuse me, Brendan will be cheering for a Fitzgerald win to make that 3-way tie happen with all 3 teams beating each other, and then would get in on draw shot.
Do we draw behind?
So the drama building in this final round robin
I like the draw.
matchup.
I like it.
On our feature game, Guentzel safely into the playoffs as the 3 seed already.
Yeah. Top 8.
So Rose now just
Wait's good. Top
trying to
12,
split the house up and play soft force.
For weight. Top 8.
Yeah, they are coming around this corner, so Team Guentzel may have a chance to draw some play under the guard they just threw. Got to be precise with this. Don't want to be too deep to leave a freeze.
Yeah, that's swept behind the tee line, so now a chance maybe for
I just like the
Guentzel
freeze.
to get back in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this call. You can afford to avoid or to just ignore that rock on the right for now. Make this freeze, sit second shot, just put the rock in a really difficult spot to remove.
Wait's good. T right now. Whoa, rim. Back 4, back 8. Back 8, has come down. Whoa, man, whoa. Back 8, back 12. Wait on me. It's getting better.
Something I've been really impressed so far with this team Guentzel is their amount of communication. There's just always a stream of dialogue going with this team, whether it's from the sweepers relaying the weight, Mason relaying the line, just constant communication. And it doesn't seem to be unheard either. Sometimes with teams, you know, you can have a lot of communication, but there's not a lot of understanding of what's being said, but it's being said and it's being understood from both sides of the sheet.
Right. Nice freeze made around that corner guard. So now Rose, after not peeling that guard, going around it instead, forced to chase underneath the corner guard.
Stay down.
Bounces off just a little bit, but sitting 2.
Yep.
And looks to be about half, maybe a little less than half buried, so not the easiest shot to follow that yellow down.
Back 4, back 8. Okay. It seems like a lot of ice. Just point. A lot of ice, I know. Here less. Touch more. Yeah, just nose.
Trying to follow along on this Same outturned path.
Curl.
Long ways to go to
Hard
curl
push.
still. Podrosky.
Hard push. Line's getting good. Hard, you're moving it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay.
Does bump and roll a little
like
open,
those, just
so
point, 'cause I can't hear
good
you.
opportunity for Rose to hit and sit 3. Soft weight hit, trying to cross the face of this stone.
Whoa, straight, straight, straight. Whoa. Whoa, straight, straight, straight. Whoa.
Back and forth, straight curl, straight curl. Usually means it's close.
Does miss the backing, so sitting 3.
Looks like if they wanted to, they could make that double on the left and avoid touching their own red. Maybe rolling on top of the yellow on the right. I think they're looking at that now.
Paper by.
That seems super thin. Like that? I can't hear you. What do you like? What does nose do? It's gonna go right by. Like we got. Don't mind that. Just touch it. Do that. Control. Okay.
This is one of those situations I wouldn't mind just seeing Will come down and talk to Mason about this shot, especially with it being hard to hear out there.
Yeah, you're kind of running out of end right now, too. If you make this roll, you're probably sitting 3rd count. Oop, something underneath that stone. Trying to pump it and get whatever it was out from under it.
I don't know. Curl, 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 curl. I don't know.
That's unlucky for that to happen twice to Team Guentzel this end.
Yeah, bad break. And when you see a player crank the handle like that mid-delivery, that means they feel something underneath the stone. So they're just trying to get whatever it was out so can make something out of the shot, but obviously very difficult to do so.
I do like it right here.
Yeah, and props to Will. I mean, that's such a frustrating thing to happen to a player, and he had the know-withal to make the adjustment in the first place, and then, you know, after the fact, just kind of not getting frustrated, just accepting it for what it was. It's part of curling is always an aspect of luck.
Yeah, we don't really want to open it up. So I like pretty much kind of nose. Maybe just off nose. Because we want to keep it more in the center as well. Okay, yeah, just block it off. I think top 8's okay.
So trying to protect 3 in the house. Just guarding the number 1 counter. We'll see how deep they throw this. We're top 8 at one point. Not sure if that's what they stuck with or not.
Yeah, I think I like top 8 here. Any higher might leave Guentzel a chance to draw around and have a shot at that skips deuce.
Want it right here. Straight. Okay, straight if anything. Whoa. If anything. Okay, that's fine.
It's coming all the way into the house. Just a matter how far now. Sweepers are calling top 4. Looks like it's digging, though.
So, why didn't we want to touch the top 4?
Well, that almost might have got something underneath it, too. Looked like it was going
I kind of like it. Make him try to
farther than that.
Yeah, especially looking at the body language of the sweepers. They weren't anywhere close and then just came to a screeching halt.
Okay.
Could just be getting a little soft out there now. Again, 4th game of the day on this ice.
Yeah, and getting around those later ends, starting to might start to see the ice fudge up a little bit, get a little slower.
It's a big draw here for Guentzel. And Ben not predicting anything for this end, but if you're Team Guentzel in this situation,
I'd like to.
if you do give up a few points here, is it a case where you say, we want to play another end, get our momentum back before we're done, or we're already in the same spot we would be anyways, let's get some rest and come out ready for tomorrow?
You know, I think it's just dependent on what's going on with the team. If you have a player or two that's really feeling it from the week, maybe it's a good idea just to call it early and get that extra rest. But personally, I think I'd be a fan of maybe playing a couple more ends and trying to get that momentum back, because that's a really important thing to have going into playoffs.
Yes! Curl! Curl!
Yeah, this looks like it's going to over curl here too.
Hard! Hard! Straight!
I'm also just going for weight here.
Oh, it's actually hanging still.
Straight! Hard! It's fine.
Touches and sits, still sitting 3 for Rose. And that red stone is your danger rock now. Looking like they're playing the tap, just going for the throat. Even if you guard that red, it's a tough score for Guentzel right now.
Yeah, that was my first thought, maybe just straight guarding it. I'm not exactly sure what Guentzel would have.
You have a double to give 1, I think, is your best case scenario, unless you get a little lucky on the top yellow stone catching the shot rock on the way by. I mean, slashing into that one too, you're still giving 1.
Either way, a difficult shot.
So it looks like they are going to play the tap. Final stone of the end for Team Rose, Caiden Rose.
Looks good. Keep it straight. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where
Outturn tap attempt.
Where? Curl. If anything, curl, 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 curl. Curl, hard curls.
Needs to get up a little bit.
All the way curl, all the way curl, all the way curl, all the way curl.
Trying to get there.
All the way curl.
Taps it right to the top of the lid. My goodness.
Beautiful shot.
Boy, if they sweep that a hair more to hold the line instead of curling, and it rolls another couple inches, then that red braze is barely there too.
Just there. Yeah.
But they can stick it in for 1 now. Basically against the game. Rose sitting 4.
Heard Mason say they're throwing hack. I like that weight choice, because if you were to say over curl and get on the back one, the one you're raising up probably isn't going very far. You may only just give up 1.
Big final shot here for Mason Guentzel. Looking at 4 yellow counters.
Line's good. Close. Close. Cleaned up. Yup. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Oh.
Must be close.
Clean. Curl. Curl.
Needs to get up now, still hanging.
That's
and goes by. So that will be a steal of 4 for Team Rose. They lead 8-1 after 6 ends of play.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
We do have a final. Handshakes after the 6th end. Caiden Rose with an 8-1 victory over Mason Guentzel, and they finished their tournament strong. Ben, not a result I think many people saw coming tonight, with Guentzel heading into the playoffs as the 3 seed, but Rose with a great performance. It's really earned every bit of that one.
Yeah, they played really well. You know, they're just the team that's been gaining momentum all week, and happy to see them finish on a high note. And for Team Guentzel, I mean, just important to shake that one off. Nothing changes for them. They're still in the same situation. Just got to have a short memory when it comes to stuff like this.
So they'll get a good night's rest and won't be back on until tomorrow evening. I'm sure they'll have some meetings about getting the mind right before the playoffs. But we encourage you to switch over the other draws to see how this playoff situation maps out for the 4 seed. We will be back at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning for the final women's round robin draw. For myself, Tyler George, Ben Richardson, the Curling Stadium crew, switch over the other games and we will see you tomorrow morning.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
good just watching you work. You're doing a bunch of stuff that I really should have been doing myself. Yeah.
You told John to do me a favor.
Tyler wants a favor.
Go to bed.
You already said no.
Oh, I should
No.
go to. You didn't know what it was. I was trying to be nice. You hear that now?
Oh, yeah.
Jeez, I'm trying to help you out, buddy. My goodness.
Yeah, I got commentary. Shoot, I could have done that. Sorry, John. Yeah, and I gotta start being more proactive, though.